Jets fans are pretty upset about this game that they played against the Kansas City Chiefs. We saw the phantom call late at the end of the football game, of course. Again, guys, at the NFL with AJL on all social media platforms. QR code in the corner of the screen will give you every bit of content. So the Chiefs beat the Jets 23-20 in actually what I thought was a really good football game to watch. I mean, the storyline of this thing is Zach Wilson is outplaying Patrick Mahomes, and that really was the case up until it came down to the time to actually put your money where your mouth was, put the rubber to the road, and ultimately why Andy Reid got his 250th win and is now, fourth on the all-time wins list for the coaches. Glad that the quality looks great. Thank you for letting me know, baby. Just shot the text over this way. But you look at Kansas City's defense, how great it's been this year. They're giving up 15 points per game in the NFL, which is sixth right now, and they're seventh in yards per game. You got Zach Wilson coming out, who everyone pretty much thinks is a bust right now, right? Throwing for 72% completion, 245 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, the most complete passes in his career for him in a game, tied for the most touchdowns in a game as well with 2, and a 105.2 passer rating in this football game also, which was the highest for Zach Wilson. He had some big plays in this game. You look at, big play to Lazard. Kind of taking it back a little bit. There was a potential big play that he had. He throws to Lazard on the sideline, and really what was almost triple coverage. And if there's one play that I can show you of why I was not buying into Zach Wilson in the 2021 NFL draft, it's that exact play there. I thought he threw way too many 50-50 balls. He really threw it into triple coverage. Obviously, it could have been a much worse play than it was. But those types of reps, those types of picking around in a defense is what gets you into those turnover-worthy plays. And again, I'm proud of Zach. No interceptions in this football game. Love the scramble on 3rd and 2 with about 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. You had the diving catch attempt that was incomplete, but you saw Zach getting out of the pocket, manipulating the play, throwing a good pass, which really could have been caught for a touchdown. Obviously, could have been a difference maker in this football game. I really like that. You saw how he stood in the pocket early in the game, delivered a throw like a veteran, dealt with the pressure, dealt with the pocket kind of collapsing in, but he stood tall, made the throw outside the numbers on the out route, I believe it was. And then he did it again with Allen Lazard on the touchdown pass in the third quarter. He was very, very patient with that. He also had the touchdown pass to CJ Uzama as well. And the fact that Zach Wilson, it actually felt like, ironically, now that Joe Namath called you out, which Joe Namath wasn't really knocking it down with numbers in terms of, comparing it to Zach when you actually look in on it. Joe Namath calls him out, and Zach Wilson goes out and has an amazing game, arguably has the game of his life, the best game of his career. You got the dude scrambling, laying out for a 2-point conversion to literally tie the football game with the Kansas City Chiefs. To literally tie the football game with the Super Bowl champions of the NFL. You got him changing plays at the line of scrimmage, the confidence of Zach Wilson, again, the patience of him. But unfortunately, when it came down to it, Jets fans saw who Zach Wilson was in the limelight, in prime time, dropping a shotgun snap. And I'm not going to blast Zach Wilson for that, okay? Because, things happen. You can drop a snap. It can go over your head. We saw what happened with Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl. Snap over your head. Now, it's not going to be that, that weighing that heavily. Hell, it kind of feels like it in this Jets game. But things can happen, right? And that's what Zach Wilson unfortunately does in this football game. Leads to that 15-play, 45-yard drive from Kansas City, from Patrick Mahomes. But I'm still going to give credit to this Jets defense, man. 2 interceptions, what should have been 3 interceptions in this football game, to only lose by 3 to a top 3 team in the NFL. Stifled him on the first drive of the game, which really kind of set the momentum for this. You got Sky Moore with an incomplete pass on the outside. I believe it was, it was Michael Carter that had that nice coverage on Sky Moore. And that was an okay throw from Patrick Mahomes. But the Jets defense still stood up. Again, 2 interceptions. Now, I think the interceptions really came because Mahomes was really just lollygagging in this game with his release. I don't know if he was being cute because Taylor Swift was in the house. He wanted to make his boy, Travis Kelce look good in front of his lady, just have the razzle-dazzle in the Big Apple in the primetime game, Sunday Night Football, Chiefs-Jets. I don't know what it was here, but Patrick Mahomes really just felt like he was lollygagging in this game. And really, that's why the interceptions happened. That's why he got picked off. And really, it should have been the 3 interceptions. Of course, we'll talk about that call a little bit here in a minute. Isaiah Pacheco, man, absolute monster. Credit to Andy Reid. Credit to Kansas City for actually picking him out in the draft. An absolute dog in this game. 20 carries, 115 yards, a touchdown. And you see Kansas City jumps out. 17-0 lead. over 200 yards in just the first quarter. You got Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift all in the mix. The camera's panning to her. We're talking about Travis Kelce. He's getting his catches, he's getting his yards in this game in just the first quarter. And then the Kansas City Chiefs manage to score 6 points over the next 3 quarters. And you can say in this football game that if Patrick Mahomes had not put up that performance at first, before the Jets defense locked down, we're having a different conversation here. We're probably talking about the Jets being 2-2 and the Chiefs being 2-2 as well. For some reason, I thought they were 4-0, but they're not. They're 3-1. They lost the opener to the Lions. But let's talk about the phantom call. Y'all know I'm a Saints fan. I know how it is to have missed calls in the game, especially on a ticky-tack pass interference, whatever the case may be. That sucks. That really sucks, okay? Because you know that Patrick Mahomes threw a bad ball there. You know that the call for the hold on Sauce Gardner wasn't good. And you hear Sauce say, it was funny, in the presser, you hear Sauce say, oh yeah, I didn't hold him late. So if I do something, but then I do something late, it means I still did it. So Sauce basically admits to holding him. He just didn't hold him late. Whatever the case was, I don't know if the ref saw enough, / I don't think the ref saw enough in this to really make it a call. Obviously, the Jets still would have had to go the length of the football field, however much it was, to actually take the lead, kick the field goal, score the touchdown, field goal to tie. Thinking about it now because they won 23-20 before Zach fumbled. Well, excuse me, the interception never happened. Or they would have had to score the touchdown, obviously, to win the football game. But I'm going to give credit to this Jets defense. The way they played was absolutely great. They stifled Patrick Mahomes and learned something new in this game. I was totally unaware that a personal foul in the end zone I can't remember if it was offense or defense, but there was a personal foul face mask in the end zone in this game that resulted in a safety. I had no idea that was a thing. But y'all get in the chat, get in the comments, let me know what you think about the Jets playing a damn good football game against the Super Bowl champs, losing 23-20, ticky-tack call. They could have had 3 INTs on the reigning MVP, could have possibly went and won this football game. Unfortunately, they didn't. And when you have Zach Wilson dropping a snap the way that he did, that's going to be something that does not resonate well with the New York Jets fans, for sure.